Hi, everyone. Did you know that 5 basic security controls could eliminate 85% the vulnerability in your environment? I mean, is that simple? Let's talk about it. Hey, like I said, 5 simple security controls. Now, I said simple, not easy. So the 5 R is hardware. Identify all the hardware that is authorized and unauthorized on your environment. That's your first control. Basic, but has been a challenge for the industry, and no matter what industry you're in, to identify everything that is plugged in on a network. But that is the first security control. The second is identify all authorized and unauthorized software on your network. Once again, pretty straightforward. The hardware and the software that goes in it. Pretty straightforward, but once again, it is a challenge for the entire industries in plural, that have this and have to maintain that in certain centralized database that you can query, identify, so it can use for vulnerability management, for any emergent patching that you have to understand where the hardware and the software, if you even have in your environment. So those are basic. Also, this is a 1-2 punch. If you see this cybersecurity framework, those are the first two. If you look into ISO 27001, they're the first two controls. Technically, ISO 27002 has the controls. But you will find these are basically the two first ones. The third would have to be with your configurations. Secure configuration across all the identified hardware and the identified software. So having that minimal security baseline is your third control. Understanding that the security that you put in place is still there. And you have to have a governance and oversight and compliance to make sure that it is ongoing, is not a set it and forget it. So you need to make sure that that is in place. Those are 3 controls, right? The fourth control is continuous patch monitoring, right? Continuous vulnerability assessment, continuous patching that needs to occur. So understanding where your hardware is, where your software is, right? And also scanning those identify hardware, identify software to understand what vulnerabilities they contain. So we can use later on to identify what threats and threat actors that you are concerned with and see if any of those vulnerabilities are exploitable by those threat actors. And those basically pop up on the top of your list. Those are you're going to patch first. So you can start seeing the picture coming together, right? And the fifth and last that can reduce the vulnerability by 85% on your environment is understanding who has admin access to your devices, to your software, understanding who has that, to your databases. Once you understand who has admin access to those and maintain sort of a governance on top of it, and having to understand that they are authorized, that you use the law of least privilege, right? Using that principle of least privilege, that everybody that has admin access should have admin access. You monitor that constantly. Those are the 5 controls that will bring it would be a good start for your cybersecurity program, wouldn't it? Yeah, having that and eliminate 85% of the vulnerability in your environment. Now, all of this begs the question, right? If you're not doing those 5s, is it worth pursuing anything else until you get these done, right? Think about it. If you get these done, it's 85%. And all your investment goes into making sure that you have the tools, the processes, and the technologies, and what have you, to make sure that you can implement these 5 controls on the assets that you have. That goes a long way on your cybersecurity program and most definitely in risk management of your environment. So think about it. And then later on, once you identify these critical hardware, software, you will identify your crown jewels, which ones that support the mission, the vision, and the services and products that you provide to your customer and shareholders. And you start a mission-based risk program.